that whole paradigm of designing cities around private motor use is not working anymore. And we need to change that. And we are seeing today visionary leadership all around the world that have realized that they need to design the cities around the people that live in the cities, around the mobility needs of people. And that is changing. And it's interesting to see that especially it's a lot of young new leaders, new young mayors that get that. Wants to have people walking together, having recreational areas, having green areas, and also the social cohesion of the city. Doesn't want a highway through it.
Every day, more than 1 billion children are taking the road to go to school. They are obliged often to walk on the road. They don't have safe spaces to cross. As a result, every day, 500 children are killed on the road. They leave their family in the morning to go to school and they never come back. That's not acceptable. That's something we can fix and we have to fix now.
The political will we can see is gathering momentum, but it's not enough just to want to do the right thing. We are past that. We have to do the right thing. We have to put into action. The good news is we know what the actions are. Now we need the governments to go in, to step up and make these changes and make it happen fast.
Here in sub-Saharan Africa, children are twice as likely to be killed in a road crash as anywhere else in the world. The opportunity that we have now is that this issue is finally being addressed on the international agenda. We have the road safety targets and air quality targets in the Sustainable Development Goals, and now with the Habitat 3 new urban agenda, we have a specific mention in there of the need for safe and healthy journeys to school for children. And the declaration, the Habitat 3 declaration, describes it as a priority. Now this has been agreed by governments from around the world in many hours of negotiations. They've got to now take it seriously, and we need to translate these words on a page into action on streets like this.
The UN Habitat Conference is a very important milestone, I think, in the global development agenda, because it reminds us the human being has been ignored out of development. The government's focus on roads and infrastructure, on all these things, but who are these for at the end of the day? It's about the people. How does the mobility of people become realized? It's very simple. What happened to sidewalks? I mean, you can't put people and cars in the same lanes, but that's what happens in Ghana. People are literally walking in the streets. How can you plan a street in the 21st century and not have a sidewalk?
We're outside the school in Accra where we've put in place footpaths and speed humps to try and protect the children. And these kids who are coming into school now, I used to have to walk in the road. It's a very busy road just coming off the 8-lane George Bush Highway. But now the kids that are here, like these children just coming in at the start of the school day, know that they can get across the road safely and get to school safely, and it reduces the stress, but more importantly, it prevents injuries, because a lot of children are being injured. Children from this school have been injured recently, and we know that if we can put footpaths in, it will cut the injuries dramatically. So what we're saying at Habitat 3 and in the Sustainable Development Goal agenda is, let's get footpaths on every street for every child so that their journeys to school can be safe and healthy. That's what we want to see. That's what we're working with partners like UNICEF and Save the Children to make happen.
Much like road carnage and with air pollution, it's our children.
The initiative of the FIA Foundation and UNICEF, it's a very clear eye-opener in terms of what are the practical measures to be developed, what are the specifics, and it's a fantastic pragmatic approach which I consider very, very positively.
Looking after the welfare of children is vital. Children have rights, and it is up to us to help them protect their rights. They walk to school, they bicycle to school, but they're not protected at all. For example, I'm an adult. and I understand the safety measures, where to look right, to look left, how to cross the road, and I am terrified of even trying to cross the roads here. So can you imagine when we send our child to school and they have to walk where there are no pavements, pedestrian crossings are not respected, and they have to deal with trucks and cars and motorcycles weaving all over the place, and possibly this child is not even seen. They're invisible, and the chances of them getting knocked down and killed are so high risk.
The shocking thing is, the terrible thing is that cities all over the world are suffering from the same epidemic. You know, we've built cities around vehicles, and we haven't designed the roads to protect people. If you're walking to school or if you're walking home with your dad holding his hand, you shouldn't be risking life and limb, right? This is a basic need of people living in cities, is to walk at a most basic level.
We're at the foot of the Williamsburg Bridge in the Lower East Side of Manhattan. The bridge connects the borough of Brooklyn to the island of Manhattan. Tens of thousands of vehicles a day come down trying to enter our central business district, but it's also a community street where children live on one side and have to get to school on the other. Where we are standing was a traffic lane, and pedestrians had to cross. Just one half of the street was the equivalent of 7 lanes of traffic. We didn't provide enough time for the walk signal to get school children across the street. We've put down salvage blocks from a bridge rehabilitation project, plastic planters, which a local maintenance partner maintains, paint, roadway markings and striping, really inexpensive things, and just some thoughtful design to really transform the feel of a place as well as how safe it is.
I think it's quite appalling that we are now in a position where we are, looking at our roads that are symbolic of human suffering because our children are not protected on our roads. When it's very simple, that all it means is really for us to ensure that we provide these safe crossings for our children, footpaths that are protected. Our children need environments that are safe so that they're able to live in these cities and ensure that our cities are safe and healthy.